Lehmo Pawpaw. Have you ever heard of it? So there's this food chain, and it's mostly up north in the Illinois area. There's a few sprinkled down through Indiana, Arkansas. There's actually one in Dallas, Texas. But it's called Sharks, Fish, and Chicken. And every time I'm close to one, I go in and get their wing dinner with fries. It's a pretty good deal. And not only that, the wings are excellent. But nonetheless, so I go into one chain, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in Maryville, Indiana, up in that area, close to Gary. It was south of Gary, Indiana. And I ordered the wings and fries. And so I sit down, I'm waiting on my order, and when my order was ready, I go up to the counter, and the guy said something to me that I'd never heard before. He said, Lehmo Pawpaw. And of course, I'm like, okay, could you repeat that? I didn't hear what you said. So he repeats it, Lehmo Pawpaw. And so I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, man. One more time. So he says it again. Well, the third time, I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what you're saying. So by now he's frustrated, and he reaches and grabs a container and he holds it up. And I'm like, oh, lemon pepper. Yes, I want lemon pepper. So if you've ever been to Sharks, Fish, and Chicken, one of their signatures is their lemon pepper sauce. And so when their wings are done, they can sprinkle lemon pepper sauce on it. And that's what he was asking me. And so I didn't understand what he was saying. As business owners, sometimes the same thing is true with our customers. They have no clue what we're saying. They have no clue what we're saying because our messaging is all over the place, and I see it all the time. As a business owner, it's important to make sure our messaging is clear and concise. After all, if your audience can't understand what you're saying, they're not going to be interested in your product or service. It's really that simple. Here's a few tips to make sure that your messaging is loud and clear. Number one, know your audience. It's important to tailor your messaging to your target audience. What language will they understand? What income levels are they? What concerns do they likely have? Answering these questions will help you tailor a message that your target audience can understand and that resonates with them. Number two, keep it simple. When it comes to messaging, less is more. Avoid using jargon or overly technical language. Instead, keep it simple. Just get right to the point. Don't try to sound like you graduated with a doctorate degree. Your audience likely have it and won't understand what you're talking about. And I see it all the time, which is what I mean by our messaging is just all over the place. Number three, be specific. When crafting your message, be as specific as possible. This will help your customers understand exactly what you're offering and why they should care. By following these simple tips, you can make sure that your messaging is much more concise and straightforward, and that your audience can relate to it and understand whether or not your product or service will help them. And if this is done right, they will absolutely know that you have what they need, and they will likely do business with you. I encourage you to check out our video series, 10 Tips, a Small Business Guide to Dominate Your Local Market. You can find the link for that in the description below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to SLS, subscribe, like, and share.